So I am so excited about this interview because I was watching Good Morning Britain this morning and I saw this bloke's name come up, Mark Matlock. And all I heard was something around and read about artificial intelligence and whether this man was real. And I'm so delighted that I'm actually joined by him this afternoon and we have the real person. Are you real, Mark?
Well, I would like to think I am. Apparently, according to a lot of the statements going around at the minute, I'm not. But
I mean,
I'm here.
I know. I mean, it did. I mean, I've got a sense of humor, and I think people are losing the sense of humor. In fact, Richard Tice actually this morning on the interview quite rightly said, I think it was in line with your discussion about you actually, is have you not heard of a sense of humor? And you have got a sense of humor. And I know you've been really poorly as well. But with all of this sort of national story that's broke and people talking about it, how have you managed it?
Well, I mean, it's just part of the job, really, isn't it? You're going to get this kind of thing all the time. I mean, look, we had 6 weeks to get our campaign going and, take part in this election. That photo of me, as I explained to the Times, it was changed. It was photoshopped from an original photo of me wearing a dark tie standing outside the Ashmolean Museum to obviously a photo with me wearing a blue coloured party tie. I mean, it wasn't ideal, but we couldn't get a photographer to update the new photograph. Photo was only taken a year and a half ago. It's not really a big deal. I mean, a lot of people have said to me, look, God, you do look like you've put on a few pounds since that photo. And I mean, technically, I suppose they're right. I am on strong medication for a lung condition because my lungs have collapsed previously.
Right.
I have been in intensive care in hospital because of that condition. So, unfortunately, I have got a lot of water retention. I have blown up like a balloon. I'm just looking forward to getting better, getting myself back to how I was, and then people can see that really was me.
Yeah. I know you're on medication that's made you bloat.
Absolutely. I'm on steroids to put my lungs up. So I'm on heavy steroids, antibiotics at the moment, all sorts of horrible things just to kind of keep me going because, I've had pneumonia 8 times in the space of a year. I mean, and that's quite excessive.
Yeah, I can well imagine. And, I was listening to it and I was listening to the interview today and there was a discussion about was it a tweet that you put out and something like working out what sexuality you are?
Well, look, I'm afraid.
What was that all about?
Well, Steve, if you poke a bear when he's unwell, he's extremely tired and you troll him, I guess you're going to get something nasty back. I mean, look, it was said in good humor. There's no malice to it.
What did you say? Tell me what the tweet said.
God, going back to memory. So I said, to all the people on Reddit who don't believe I'm real, keep smoking the crack pipe and wondering what sexuality you are or something like that. I mean, look.
Mark, can I just say this, right? I'm more gay than Christmas. And I know I've got to know you. There's not a homophobic bone in your body.
Absolutely.
And I think you're right. And Richard Tice actually mentioned this, is that get a sense of humor, for God's sake.
I know. But mind you, though, I mean, had I not said something as outrageous as that, maybe they wouldn't have put me on mainstream news. I mean, it's probably done me some good in the long run. It's probably done the party some good in the long run. It's got us, some free advertisement, as I always say.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hear this all the time, because I obviously I do support Reform UK, and it's like, oh, they're homophobic, they're this. No, who are you listening to? And it's like with the nation's been hypnotized to automatically think, oh, they're homophobic. And I know for a fact that is cobblers.
Well, any politician who makes a joke, it's immediately held against them. I mean, I think the media just want really boring, unrealistic people with a very miserable face just to run our country. I mean, they must do, because anyone who gets anywhere near a joke or uses freedom of speech to their right, they get called out in the most horrific way for it. I mean, it's just so unnecessary. we are human beings at the end of the day. We are people. We do like to have a laugh, you know, we do like to have a joke. And yeah, I mean, I'm really ill at the minute. I'm still overcoming pneumonia. I get maybe 2 or 3 hours out of bed a day at the moment. And, you know, unfortunately, they are going to get, you know, they are going to
I tell you what, mate, and I must say this, and I'm so grateful for you spending this 10, 15 minutes with me to talk about this, because I know you've been really ill. I know that because I've done my research, you know, off the screen, out of this interview. I know you are. You've been very poorly. So, you know, just to add, thank you so much for giving your time. I want to now we know you're not this AI generated image or whatever they were saying. Why Reform UK?
Oh, I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. I mean, look, you know, the party just wants to put this country back on a fair playing field. That's all. We're not, you know, extremists like everyone's trying to make out. You know, all we want is for the country and the economy and for life and people in this country to prosper again. That's all we want. You know, we're not trying to be kind of, you know, revolutionaries where we completely change the whole world. We just want our country to function in a civilized manner and a productive manner. That's all we want to achieve. You know, I'm just fed up of these politicians, you know, kind of dividing the public. You know, you've either got to vote left or you vote right or you got to do this. We don't need any of that rubbish anymore. We just need politicians to get on with the job in hand and serve their country properly.
What do you say? What are you saying to people when they say, "Well, you only got 5 MPs"?
Well, do you know what I say? Considering the time scale we had, I think what the party has achieved is extraordinary. I think if we can do that in 6 weeks, wow! I mean, the next election is going to be interesting, isn't it?
Oh, I think it is. How do you think they're going to do? By the way, how do you think Nigel and the other guys are going to do in the Commons? Do you think they'll make a difference?
Well, you know, I think, you know, it's fantastic for the country that we've got Nigel and the other guys there in Parliament calling out Keir Starmer. You know, look, it depends, doesn't it, the outcome of the party? I mean, it depends what kind of job Keir Starmer does. I mean, if he really does wreck the country like everyone's worried about he's going to do, then, you know, obviously that's going to, you know, give the seat straight to Farage to become PM in the next election.
Do you honestly believe that Nigel Farage can become the Prime Minister of the UK?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's a really, you know, a respected and loved figure in this country. And I think, you know, the media try and keep that out of the limelight. I mean, I was reading something today. I thought it was hilarious. They've had to stop people taking selfies with Farage. I mean, that's just brilliant, you know, and that's what we want. You know, we want someone that popular because I think
what's great is to have personality in there as well. Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of MPs are quite beige, irrespective of party. I think a lot of it's like personality less, but with Farage, you've got this big personality. So, I mean, what I'm not going to keep you too long because I know you're very poorly. So, what's next for you then?
Well, look, you know, we're going to keep campaigning. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep calling out what's going on in politics. I'm obviously going to be running again in the next election. You know, we're keen. We're very much pro reform, moving forward, gaining more seats, and you know, doing some great things for this country. You know, that's all we want to do. We just want to make sure people have a better quality of life. And also, we want to bring back laughter again. I mean, politics has got so bitchy, hasn't it? You know. So
I know, horrendously. But like you, I have a sense of humour through it all as well, as a non-politician. So let's say you've got 30 seconds to a minute to sort of tell the nation why next time they should be should be voting for Reform UK. What would you say? Put it out there.
Well, I would just say that, you know, it's a party of common sense. You know, it's a party who will deliver and will get the job done. If you look at Nigel Farage, who is the leader of our party, he has dedicated his whole life to the one cause of getting us out of Europe. Okay, and I think that was a fantastic cause. I'm very much pro-Brexit. I just think it's sad the leaders that we've had in this country have done such a poor job of utilising this, you know, the country that we live in to really kind of expand globally. You know, since we've left Europe, you know, we've had all the chances. It's so sad. You know, it really saddens me to think that we've had over 4 prime ministers in the last 5 years who've been educated in what's considered one of the finest institutions in the world. And on paper, they're all intelligent, extremely academic people, but yet not one of them have managed to knuckle down and get the job done. And I find that distressing. And if you look at Nigel Farage, he's dedicated his whole life to getting us out of Europe, and he's achieved it. He's a doer. You know, so if you really want some change in this country, you've got to ignore what the media say about, you know, our party, because unfortunately they're just playing petty politics. And you've got to get behind our party and Farage, because he will deliver on his promises.
Final question, I promise you. You've got Donald Trump on the wall behind you. Are you? I take it you're a fan.
Well, you know, he certainly doesn't give up, does he? I'll give in. Absolutely. I mean, look, you know, I think he's fighting for some very good, important causes, you know, in America, especially, you know, the freedom of speech.
Do you think he's going to win, Mark? Do you? Everyone keeps saying he's ahead in the polls. I've got this hunch that he might actually not win.
Look, you know, Steve, I think really he's played the whole thing quite well. I think he has calculated everything that's come at him from day one. I mean, you know, as soon as he was in office, he appointed the Supreme Court judges. I think he knew that they were going to throw what they were going to throw at him. And you know, he's doing exceptionally well. I mean, look, I'm only a young man. I haven't really seen lots and lots and lots and lots of politicians around the world. But what I have noticed about this particular politician, you know, a president, is that he has continued to keep going, you know, all throughout everything that's happened to him. He's still standing there strong. He's not going away. He's not backing down. I mean, look, the guy's a billionaire, you know, crying out loud. I mean, he could just go and live on an island and put his feet up and they'll leave him alone, you know.
Yeah, I do have this, I'll be very quick, this very slight concern that Biden will step aside, a fresh face will come in, the fresh face will kind of get that halo effect, you know, sudden new fresh face, being evangelical and may get the vote. But who knows? Listen,
well,
mate.
Look, let's put it like this, okay? I think the world is completely, I mean, well, I hope they are aware that Obama is behind Biden. And anyone else who they replace Biden with is just getting Obama again. So right now, you know, America is in decline. You know, it's sad. It's a really beautiful country. Americans, I love American people. I've been all across America. It's a wonderful place. And it's sad that it's in such decline. But, you know, this is what happens, you know, when you have corrupt politicians. This is what happens to the state of the country, I'm afraid.
I'm conscious as I sit here that you're not well. So I'm going to abruptly, some may say, end the interview now. I've not stopped the record button yet, but I just want to say thanks so much for giving me some of your time, and I wanted to give you this opportunity to kind of put the truth out there, which you've done beautifully. So listen, get well soon, sending lots of love through the screen, and I hope we talk again. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Nice to speak to you. Take care.
Thank you.